Today marks the beginning of Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and we have a special guest joining us to mark the kickoff. My good friend and longtime colleague, Cynthia Mulligan, is here with me today, and I'm so excited, Cyn. Come have a seat. So Cynthia has been an inspiration to me and to so many others for so many years, and I really thank you for being here. I know you had the summer off.
I did.
You know, 11 years ago, we talked about this on breakfast television.
We cried about this on breakfast television, actually. Yes,
we did. It was 11 years ago. You got the diagnosis that you had cancer. You did all the treatments. You did everything right. Give us the update now.
Unexpectedly, 11 years later, it's back. And I found out 2 days before Christmas. Really by fluke. It was an extra test that I had asked for because I was feeling something down here that was a benign cyst, and while they were doing the ultrasound, they found something here in my liver. And my doctors were so surprised. The good news is it's taken that long to come back, so it's slow growing. The bad news is it's stage 4, and that's a scary diagnosis.
It tends to like freeze you right where you are when you hear that, you know?
You buckle.
You buckle.
Yeah,
and
a little bit.
I want to know, does anything feel different this time around?
It's easier because I've done this before, but it's harder because I've done this before. It's easier because my children are no longer 6 and 10, but it's also harder because they understand. 11 years later, they understand it so much more. I waited a few months to tell them while we were getting everything, all the questions answered, and we knew the treatment protocol, and that took until February. So I didn't tell them until I was starting my treatments because I wanted to. You still want to protect them. Yes. You know, you want to protect everybody that surrounds you, that you love and who love you, because I think it's even more painful for them than it is for you.
It's interesting because you have the instinct to protect the people around you even as you are going through this thing. Yes. And that just speaks to your heart, Cyn.
I think that's common for everyone really going through this. I really do.
Yeah. Talk to me about your mindset. Because when you sent out the tweet, and we had talked about it before you sent out the tweet. You sent out the tweet announcing it. It trended on Twitter because legend, we're talking about legendary status here, Cynthia Mulligan. You said, all I want is when you see me, see someone who is loving every second of this glorious thing called life. Yes. And that to me was a click because it said, switch your perspective. We're talking about all of the things that we are loving and enjoying in life now versus all the things you feel like you might be missing because of this diagnosis. So I want to know, what do you draw from this deep strength and positivity? Where does that come from?
You know, I think working in news has actually been such an incredible learning experience throughout my entire career. And I'm going to mention a name, Alwynberry. And early in my career, 18-year-old man, young man growing up in Jane and Finch, and he was working on a documentary to show that not all young black men at Jane and Finch were gangsters. And he was such a warm, kind, smart, thoughtful young man, and then he was diagnosed with cancer. And it had come back a second time, and he was dying. And I met him in his hospital room, and he looked at me, and he said to me, cancer is a gift because it teaches you what's really important in life. And it teaches you about love and what matters. And his sister and I were communicating via email, Annika, just last week. And I said to her, you know, I didn't know then that he was teaching me how to cope with this now.
Wow.
And his words resonate with me to this day, 20 years later. And I think I've met so many people in my career that have handled adversity with such grace and with resilience and strength that I think I'm drawing on all of them and all the lessons they've taught me as a journalist over the years.
Beautiful message. That's really incredible, Cyn.
It's a gift.
It's a gift.
It's a gift that other people have given me along my way, and I guess I'm hoping to share their wisdom.
You know, the other thing you said in 2011 is you mentioned a life lesson you learned is to have less and live more. Let's talk about that. So do you feel like you fulfilled that?
I do. I sold my house back then. Yes. I had a larger house and I bought a much, much smaller one that I love. It's my little nest and my cocoon. I've traveled.
Yes. Yes.
I've been to South Africa, and I've been to Bangkok. I did a documentary in Bangkok. I taught a journalism course in Vietnam. Like, I've really focused on experiences rather than things, and of course experiences with my children. I have a partner, my soulmate, Stefan, and we've really, for the last 4 years since we've been together, we've really focused on living and loving life.
And that's a lesson for everyone.
Always, every day. And, back to Alwyn, cancer shows you to grab every day and squeeze every moment of joy out of every day. And the colors are brighter and you feel things more intensely. And I think we all should be doing that regardless, all the time, just appreciating the moment. And I truly wake up in the moment and go, thanks for this day.
Amazing.
Good. Even bad days, I'm here for them.
You're here for them.
I'm here
That's
for
right.
them.
You're living them. You're experiencing them. You're going through it. So you are here.
Exactly.
Can we talk a little bit about the ink, my friend? Show them that amazing ink, the tattoo on your wrist. We need to get a shot of that.
So it's fall arrow side down 7 times, stand up 8. And it is my motto. It is my mantra. It is my life. And there's a story behind this tattoo. And I've wanted to get it for 11 years. Ever since, during my final month or so of treatment, I was getting radiation, and I was in a bad place back then. My father was in final stages of Alzheimer's, and we were heartbroken as a family. Mark Daly, our friend and colleague, had just died the night before. And I'm in the 3rd sub-basement floor of Princess Margaret Hospital, and I'm burnt from radiation, and I wasn't in a good mind frame. And this woman came up to me, and I had seen her over the course of the past year getting treatments. We were sort of on the same treatment schedule, and I was always struck by her because she never wore a wig, and I thought she was so fearless because I felt naked without a wig. And she came up to me and she said, "This is my final day of treatment, and I have this for you." And it was a little gift bag with a Lance Armstrong, Livestrong necklace and a card. And on the card it said, "Fall 7 times, stand up 8. And it just struck me, because to me that is life. No matter what you're going through, we're going to have our curveballs, and we have to sort of bend over, absorb, and get back up again. And she gave me such an incredible gift, and I've never seen her since. And I wish I could thank her, because she helped me frame my attitude towards life. And what a gift. And it just shows what gifts we can give strangers and what impact we can have on lives of others without even really acknowledging it or understanding the impact that can have.
You never know what your words might be to someone who's going through something, and that has stayed with you to the point where you now have it as part of your body. So that is a beautiful thing.
And it's my daily reminder and my promise to myself.
Yes. One last question for you that I have to ask. So another tweet that you wrote: "When I was first diagnosed, I kept praying for 10 years. There isn't a parent out here that won't understand this. Kept praying for 10 years so I could watch my 2 young daughters grow."
Yes.
I got those 10 years.
I did.
I'm so grateful.
I am.
Any message out there to moms or women watching?
You're crying.
I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it.
I just want to say before I answer that question, I love this woman, and she is my spirit lifter. And what you see is really what you get in real life. And you are such a booster of women and people and joy and support. And Tracy's one of the first people at work that I told about this. Yeah. So I'm reluctant to give advice to other women because what works for me won't work for other people. And I'm so lucky to have so much support. And not everybody has that. I guess my advice would be kind to yourself and take care of yourself and give as much love as you can but understand that there's only so much you can do, but be kind to yourself.
Amazing. Always with the words of wisdom, this one. Always.
Oh, look who's talking.
Oh, I tried so hard to keep it together, but I can't. I love you too much.
I love you too.
Thank you so much for sharing your story, honey.